president. He was willing to stick with Henry Wallace, but the party bosses at the convention basically dumped Wallace and put Harry Truman in, because I think the writing was on the wall that FDR wasn't going to survive the fourth term. And they wanted to put somebody in that they'd be able to shape, because there was rumblings of Wallace being communist, mm-hmm. So they were ready to kind of put somebody in that they could have their, basically make a puppet. So as you look around this room, there are a number of photos. Most of them are in really cheap 5 and dime store frames. Many of them are crooked. A lot of them are touching. She didn't obviously have the laser level out, making sure everything was spaced correctly and level. That wasn't the point. These were not decorations. These were memories. These were people. These were places. These were events that she wanted to remember. And I won't even claim to know who everybody is, but I want to point out some of the more notable figures that you see around the room here. Over on the piano, a gentleman by the name of Louis Howe. Very influential figure in both Roosevelt's lives. Louis basically shaped Eleanor to be this incredible public speaker and taught her the role of activism. So, when you think of Eleanor Roosevelt, he played a huge impact in her life. On the back wall here, a couple of presidents. Her uncle, Theodore Roosevelt. Husband, Franklin. The top photo in this row of 4. 3 of her 4 boys, the 4th at the bottom, all in their military uniforms from World War II. The one at the bottom actually shows General Patton speaking with one of the boys. Behind me here, Sarah Delano Roosevelt, her mother-in-law. Up top, her father, Elliot. Right under the light sconce here, there's a photo. You may have some glare, but anybody recognize who that is? Famous aviator.
Oh, Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart. Has anybody ever read the kids' book Amelia and Eleanor Go for a Ride?
No.
If you're a parent or a grandparent or a teacher, if you're a teacher, you should be in school. Some are retired. And let's face it, you don't have to be a kid to read that kid's book, because it's a really fun book. And it talks about Amelia being invited to the White House. And Eleanor made sure she sat right next to her. She had to ditch the plaid shirt and overalls for a fancy ball gown. But Eleanor wanted to hear these wonderful stories of adventure. And they sat all night talking. Near the end of the evening, Amelia asked Eleanor if she'd ever gone for a flight over Washington, D.C. Eleanor responded that she hadn't. Amelia said, "We should go sometime." Eleanor said, "That would be wonderful. I'll go grab our jackets." Well, kind of took Amelia back because she wasn't talking that night, but she rolled with it. Off they went to the airport. They took a nighttime flight over Washington, D.C., and Eleanor fell in love with flying. Told FDR she wanted to go get her pilot's license. Was reminded she should probably learn how to drive better on the open road before she could take friendly skies. She did take another flight with a famous group of aviators this time, when she traveled down to Tuskegee, Alabama, taking a tour of the facility where the red-tailed hawks earned their wings.
But you should add in why did she do that? Because I was hoping that was in the video, because that changed for the black troops of the Tuskegee Airmen, who were not allowed to enter into the battle because of race.
Right.
And she said, well, I will do something, and she did, and went and actually let one of the airmen take her on a flight, which from that point on they were allowed to.
Yeah, it's interesting because the commander of the base offered up a flight with one of the white instructors, and she said no and pointed to one of the flyers and said, "I'm going to go with him." And there's a really wonderful photo. She's the smile on her face is ear to ear, and it made a riffle in the newspapers when that picture was published.